Well, greetings and good afternoon. It recently came to my attention that there are actually still people watching me. And to this, I thank you. So since you are watching, I guess I can continue talking. Now, a thought occurred to me today, which will be the subject of this video, as you no doubt can see, that asks a very interesting question that few are really able to answer. Why are we so unhappy? Now, I don't mean us as in you or I or anybody else watching this, but just in general. And by in general, I mean Western civilization. We are, quite possibly, some of the most materially blessed people that have ever existed throughout the face of this planet. A clear demonstration of this is I am using Himalayan salt on American beef, corn grown in the Midwest. None of it I really had to harvest. A few hours' labor gets me all of this from all over the world. With the press of a button, I can have any of the entertainment that I so desire. With a short amount of effort, I can have almost any spices that I so desire. From all around the world. And I will say that I, much like most, are not entirely immune to just depression, anxiety, loss of motivation. So the question is why? Why, if we are so blessed, are we always afflicted by this? Something that's occasionally said, but not often enough, is that people of the Western world suffer from rates of mental disorder at far greater rates than the rest of the planet. So the question becomes why? Well, a big part of it is lack of purpose. We have lost our way. We have lost our way in the sense that we don't know why we're doing this anymore. And by this, I mean civilization in general. We have lost our way because we have lost our reason for being. Now, the reason for this is anyone's guess. And since I am part of that anyone, I guess I can throw mine out there just as much as the next person. So, why have we lost our meaning? By the way, thyme, pepper, Himalayan salt, and rosemary on a steak cooked in bacon and olive oil. For anybody who is wondering. So the question becomes, what was our original purpose? Our original purpose, much like any civilization, was to survive. Now, where Western civilization starts, you can point to the Greeks, you can point to early medieval Europe, you can point to a lot of different places, you can point to the Romans, but for the sake of argument, I'm going to go ahead and say Western civilization can encompass any and all of these, and at start it was mainly to survive. Don't worry, my point will encompass all of them. There were rivaling states of equal or greater power that were all vying for the resources that Western civilization had. As has happened since the dawn of time, there is no one who's innocent from this. People have competed over resources since there were resources to compete over. So what happened along the way? Well, what happened along the way is that nations of the West got a little too powerful for our own good, like a video game. It got to such an extent that we were no longer materially deprived. And keep in mind, this is not something that has happened over a long period of time. This happened very rapidly. In the past 100 years or so, where we became the lands of plenty. And what that did is that it robbed us of a struggle. We have no Great Depression. We have no great wars. We have vague enemies that are difficult to fight. We have existential threats, but on a philosophical level, that are difficult for most people to grasp. We want not for food, and we do not fear for our physical safety from external threats from other countries. There are always people that will fear for their physical safety, no matter how wealthy a country. But this lack of threats and challenge to us, well, hasn't done us any favors. So what do? We look to simulate it. We have sports, we have video games. You are the chosen one. You must fight this great evil that's going to threaten us all. Simple, easy to digest. My team good, their team bad. And we throw ourselves into it, which is fine. Sometimes we need purpose, and sometimes that purpose is not easy to come by. So what we do is we look to synthetic purpose. There's the problem. Because while you may be able to trick your waking or subconscious mind, your spirit will know the difference. Your subconscious mind, whatever you wish to call it, on some deep level, you will know that something is amiss. So, the problem with us is that we got to the point where we felt like we were invincible. Nothing could bring us down, which brings us to today. And what's happening today is that people are looking to tear down Western civilization because they've never had to defend it and they've never experienced anything other than, except maybe in theory. They look to the past on things that they never saw, and they say, this was better. Because they never got close enough to see the flaws. So, why are people of the West so unhappy? Because most of their day-to-day is devoid of purpose. Get a college degree. But why? Why? To get out of your debt from getting into the college degree. Get a good job. Why should you get a good job? A long time ago, the answer to that was family, but a lot of people don't want to start a family. Live the child-free life. Who cares about the future? Let's see. People still want to care. So they say they care about the environment. They care about the children of the future, but this still leaves them feeling empty. Even if they succeed, and for what reason? Because that primal need for a personal struggle is not being filled. You grind your day-to-day, but for what purpose? So that you can have money to pay the bills, so you can save up for that new thing that somebody on the telescreen told you that you should want? You need a greater purpose. What is your great spiritual struggle? What is the great spiritual struggle of Western civilization at the moment? That great struggle is a struggle against ourselves and our own malaise. Well, do not worry. With weakness comes enemies. With enemies comes a brand new struggle. We'll have our reason to fight soon enough. Should be interesting. Until then, educate yourself. Get healthy. Save up some money. Have 2 months of dried goods and supplies at any point in time, reliable means of transportation, and good friends from which to rely on. Get your life in order, and you will be prepared for whatever cataclysm comes next. So, I'm about to throw these things into the fryer. And as always, listen to no one.